Hi everybody, I know you haven't seen me in a while. I got a jazzy new haircut. Hope you all like it. I'm in a semi-new location. My living room. Yeah, and you probably won't be seeing it that often. Anyway, you haven't seen me, and I'm back. I thought I'd go back to the bad movie reviews, or some might say bad. Oh, many might say bad. Movies that the cast members of Supernatural have done. And they might say, are you picking on them? No, I'm not picking on the cast members of Supernatural. I love the cast members of Supernatural. Love is the only thing that would get you through these movies. Blind love. Love that has no end. Yeah. And I mean, some of the movies aren't that bad, but some of them are. So anyway, I'm back to reviewing those. And this is one of the solo ones because my cohorts kind of dropped out on watching them because some of them were hard to get through, or some of them are pretty kind of grotesque, actually. Some of the horror movies. I don't know, Supernatural people, all of them do horror movies, and some of them are pretty gruesome. You'd be surprised how many of them actually do gruesome horror movies. Anyway, I'm not actually doing any of those today, kind of. I'm going to do a back-to-back Brock Kelly double feature one. I've actually seen everything he's done now, because I think he's awesome sauce, and I wanted to see everything he did. Now, a lot of his TV work is better. I will say that, because a lot of the movies he has to do are low-budget, straight-to-DVD movies, and I'm not talking independent low-budget, I'm talking straight-to-DVD low-budget, so they don't look independent. Except Faded Memories was independent. But the two movies I'm reviewing, Portal and Costa Rican Summer, they're straight-to-DVD, so a studio put them out, but they're still bad. And it's not independent bad like Faded Memories, where it's funny, so it's still semi-entertaining, and you have a good memory of when you watched it. These are kind of movies that you want to forget because they're bad, and you know, there's really nothing funny about them. They're just bad. And you're just like, why were these even made? And it kind of hurts your soul slightly because they were made and other movies can't get made that are better. Yeah. So anyway, and I mean, I don't want to say that because they gave Brock Kelly a job, and I know I want him to get jobs because I want to see him, because I love him. And yes, even after seeing these two movies, I will still see anything Brock Kelly makes. That's just the kind of person I am. And before anyone's like, actors have to act. It's not like you can hold off and wait for that great Oscar winner he's going to make. I'm just going to say that because so many people have a giant stick up their butt. Like, oh, I'm selective. Not everybody has that. Some people want to eat food. Money may not make the world go round, or bring you love, or give you a higher understanding of life or creativity, but at some point you have to eat, or want heat, or live in an apartment, or whatever, have four walls, and you kind of need money for that. You can't go to your landlord and say, hey, I'll give you my endless love, and just that. Just saying. Anyway, now that my rant on why people have to do these stuff, though I don't understand how this stuff is getting made, because I can't see how this is making money because they're bad, I will begin with Portal. Portal is really crappy made. Like, it's not even like it got enough money, because you can tell it's not independent. That's what I don't get. This is really confusing to me because you can tell it's not independent. It's a straight-to-DVD movie by a studio, but I still don't understand how it got, like, because whoever they hired as a director, as cast, as like crew members, I don't understand because it still looks crappy. It looks muggy. It looks underdeveloped. Like, the whole movie's like dark, and it's about a guy and his friend who are driving, and they get stuck at this hotel, and for some reason in these movies, people don't notice that the people working there are acting weird, the people staying there are acting weird, and it turns out the other guests are like drugged, and the main character is the only character that's not drugged. And Brock Kelly plays a character named Armand. No character in a movie should be named Armand anymore, and it be in America. Nobody in America is really named Armand. I'm just saying. Do you know somebody named Armand? Anyway, everyone looks kind of shifty. Yes, Brock Kelly's a bad guy, but he's barely in it. If you are going to watch this just for Brock Kelly, like I did, no, he is barely in it. He barely gets dialogue. There's a girl that's like, one of the other waitresses are kind of in love with him, who wouldn't be, with Brock Kelly. And there's like a semi kind of sexy scene, but barely in it. He is a bad guy. And, I mean, if your love goes as far as my love goes, you're going to see it anyway, so I can't really stop you. But I can at least warn you. I can warn you. This movie is also crappy acted. He's not crappy acting. He never crappy acts. I know I can put that in a more grammatically correct way, but why? This movie didn't take enough time to make itself better, though I don't know how better it could have got with the crappy script and the weird, disturbing outcomes later on. People are, like, being drugged. Women are kind of being raped by the guys who don't know what's going down. And the end resolve isn't that much of a resolve. And I guess they thought they were being unique and fresh, but it just turns out weird, and I'm just like, why? Still going why? And Brock, I won't say what happened to Brock, but he's a bad guy. You can probably guess. I'm just saying. But anyway, like, the movie is just random in everything it does. It's weird, and I can watch weird movies as long as it's good weird, and this is bad weird. And you're going to see it anyway if you love Brock. If you're on the fence, don't see it. Don't see it. That's all I can say. This movie doesn't really have a whole lot redeeming about it. It's just bad on almost all counts. Like, I'm trying to think of a good count, and all I'm thinking is Brock Kelly's in it. And he's never bad at the acting. I mean, the characters he's getting are usually smaller. They don't, like, have a whole lot of character development. And I can only imagine he's there for, like, a day or two, and he's there, because it's a job, and he has to hone the craft, and to be good. And yeah. Anyway, the next movie is Costa Rican Summer, and this movie, Brock is in it a lot. It's not as bad as Portal or Faded Memories. See, I'd say Portal is the worst of Brock Kelly's movies just because he's not in it a lot, and it's just bad and bad. Faded Memories is funny to watch, and you'll remember watching it. And it's one of those movies you gotta watch with friends so you can commentate on how bad it is. But it's still, yeah. Anyway, Costa Rican Summer is still bad. It's a comedy, though. And when comedies are bad, they're not as bad as, like, movies that are, like, bad horror movies or bad dramatic movies, in my opinion, because you can get away with more. But the movie is still really bad. Its writing is atrocious, especially its representation of women. I really don't like it. Brock Kelly does a decent job. He's one of the male protagonists, because there's two, and of course they're both men. Because women in these types of movies, I'm not saying in all comedies women are just there to support men, but it's kind of stupid, kind of ridiculous comedies that are, if you know what I'm talking about once you see it. Anyway, it's really bad. Yeah, and it's not really that funny. It's really stupid comedy, but not in the stupid kind of way that's sometimes funny when you do the Will Ferrell thing. It's a cheap straight-to-DVD comedy. Yeah. So anyway, he's one of the main male protagonists. He's not one of the main funny parts. I think it's him kind of reacting to the people acting ridiculous. But the other male protagonist is named Dinger, and I don't even get me started on that name. It's ridiculous to have a character named Dinger, and they're doing it to be funny, but it's not funny. And he's a beach bum who literally lives on the beach. He imagines Pamela Anderson and is, like, in love with her, but it's all in his head. He's an ex-surfer, and I guess reliving the glory days in his head as he's living on the beach, imagining Pamela Anderson. And he doesn't even really come into play to, like, the storyline until later when Brock Kelly's character, Kyle, meets him on a beach. He's there visiting his cool aunt, which I don't understand why all these movies always have these cool aunts that own like beach resorts that have these interests. I mean, I don't always own beach resorts. I'm just talking about movies, how there's this really awesome, edgy aunt that has some really cool job that can hook you up and get you this, this, and this. Insert whatever for the certain movies. I mean, I have an aunt. She's nice, but I'm just saying. I don't understand this. And anyway, he's a really cool aunt who's magically very attractive. Wow. I'm shocked. And I wonder how this is going to play out. Oh, is she going to end up with the main character? Yes. And she's supposedly also really smart and everything too. And she owns her own business. And she's edgy. And she's awesome aunt. And somehow, for some reason, just because this character named Dinger, which I'm telling you, if a guy's like, oh, my name's Dinger, I'm like, no, I'm not dating you. I'm a really awesome person. Yeah, I'm not dating you. I mean, unless you're upset that your name is Dinger too. But then I change it. Anyway, I think it's his last name too, but it's not the point. She ends up with him just because he wins this, like, she's able to keep her hotel because he wins this, like, surfing contest. And yeah, I'm giving away the entire movie. It's not important. And trust me, if you're watching this movie, you're not watching it for this great story because the story is crap. It's written, the women in this movie, like, are ridiculous. They're like, oh, wow, I'm going to swoon over you because you're there. And for some reason, women are going to fall in love with that. No. There's another character that ends up with Brock Kelly, and you're thinking, well, you would end up with Brock Kelly. I listen to you rant about him all the time, about how awesome he is. Yes, that's true, but she's kind of bitchy, and it kind of made me mad that Brock Kelly ended up with her, just because she's one of those women that evidently were all judgmental, and, if we have a brain, because there's also two women that who take their, like, tops off, and I think they're supposed to be smart, too, and in terms of this movie, what they think a woman is funny. And she's like, she judges him as soon as she sees him. It's like, oh wow, since you're athletic and good looking, you can't be smart, and you must just be after me for my great looks, but I have a brain too, and I'm a feminist. Whatever. I consider myself a feminist. I'm not going to go off on every man I meet. He's just kind of talking to you. Because the character didn't really do anything to her to insinuate he was going to ruin her good morals. Whatever. Anyway, they all end up together, and that's pretty much the movie. She gets to keep the hotel. Oh yeah, I have to mention, in the movie there's also two other characters in it that have a big spot, and they're Kyle's best friends. And they are, I believe their like nicknames are like Tasty and like Doobie or something. Yeah. They're functioning idiots. If you're going to write a script, at least make the characters, yeah, you can be dumb, but you're not going to be in high school and be that dumb. They're not going to let you out of junior high. I mean, I wonder if they have a grade school intelligence. They're that idiotic. And I get in movies it's funny to have somebody that dumb. Oh, wow, he's an idiot. But you're not going to be able to make it through school that long. The education system may be bad, but it's not that bad. They're not going to let you drift through the cracks that many years. And they're idiots. And the end ends up having to tutor them, and they're still idiots by the end, and they still act like morons, and it's insulting to, like, the human race. Yeah. I just don't understand. And if someone found it funny, that's nice. I read somewhere that someone didn't like Brock Kelly's performance in it, and I really didn't get that because one, it's not like he had a whole lot to work with here, and then they compared it to the chick that played his love interest performance, and I really didn't like it that much. I'm sure she's an amazing person in real life, and yeah, Brock Kelly didn't have a lot to work with in this movie. It wasn't like there was a lot of Oscar bait in this piece. But I know he was good in it. He did his job. And I'm not trying to like downplay or anything. I'm just saying he played his part and he played his part well. So that's my review. I still love Brock. I still see anything he's in. I still adore him more than anything. and it's been real. That's my review. I'm going to try and put out more of these, not stay away so long. I've seen a lot of these movies, and some of the movies got pretty weird and pretty gross, and I kind of want to talk about them just because it's like WTF. So I'm going to try and get out more of those. So I think that's it. I'll see you guys later. Have fun.